What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part 21 of my Total Warhammer II modded Mazdamundi campaign. I actually wanted to get this episode out yesterday, but unfortunately didn't have time, and I've been really itching to get back into it. Excited to get the war with Itza on and to make our new armies and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, as we saw last time, said war with Itza has begun, and there are a lot of Itzan units and armies that we do have to destroy to sort of corral Itza ideally into the sacred pools over here, because I presume they will turn around and conquer it at some point. At least that's the plan. I'm hoping that it works, but there's obviously no guarantee. In addition to that, last time we were able to have Henwen fight a battle with an enemy skink army wherein he won pretty damn handily. He's pretty much unhurt, whereas their army was pretty close to getting destroyed, so I am very happy with that outcome. Over here in the meantime, we have pretty much crippled the Tomb Kings, i.e. Khemri, the main faction. They do still have Khemri itself as well as some territories left, but their armies are very much depleted, and we should be able to take them out. And I just realized, having looked down here, Tic-Tac-Toe should be down here, shouldn't he? Is he dead? Did Tic-Tac-Toe die? Oh, that'll be a real shame. He might have died at some point. I don't think we ever had contact with him. I don't recall... Or maybe it was so long ago that I no longer remember. But yeah, we definitely don't see him. Let's also get a hero up here. Let's see if we can't find Oxyodal. See if he's at least still alive. In fact, can we make any heroes here? Bel Alia, let's take a look. Yeah, we can make a Skink Chief. It doesn't really matter which one. Skink Chiefs are cheap after all. Let's go with a... I don't know. I wish they didn't cost 2,000 to just recruit, but whatever. We'll never use you other than to go and find Mr. Oxyodal, so just go up there. Can we get anything that'll make him move faster? We can try to go for Grand Master, at least temporarily. Let's do that. Let's do this, and then ooh, no, you know what? Campaign Line of Sight. That'll help with looking for Oxyodal. Right there. And in addition to that, yeah, go Retinue Disciple, then Grand Master. Don't really care about the other stuff. I guess we'll just get Specialist just in case we need it. And... I don't know, Assassinate. Once again, doesn't matter. You have a long road ahead of you, buddy. You're gonna sail all the way up to find Oxyodal. Now... what do we do over here? You know what? Let's deal with Itza first, I think, instead of the Khemri stuff, because this stuff should be auto-resolvable since we won the battle last episode. We just have to get close enough to the Blood Swamps with you, and you, and then you guys will still have to trade units. So let's get you moving right here. Oh, damn, I was hoping we'd be close enough to take the Fuming Serpent right after that, but unfortunately not going to be the case, but that's okay. Blood Swamps, let's attack. It says outcome casualties are low, and I don't think anybody will die, which means we should be able to heal up. Yeah, there's absolutely no need to fight this again. And that was just with Henwen by himself without any help, so yeah. Let's auto-resolve, yeah? Did we even take any damage? Some of the Croxagors got a little bit beat up, but other than that, not really anything to be concerned about. Let us occupy the Blood Swamps, and with that, our new territory is complete, i.e. the Awakening. Ooh, Henwen got himself a fan waiver, which is always helpful with the skinks that are getting fairly hurt. Now, we should probably reduce construction cost, because we do still have a lot of military buildings to upgrade. I was about to say maybe we go Alignment of War to increase the recruitment capacity, but I think for now, just get the construction cost, and we'll deal with that later. In fact, let's immediately upgrade the Blood Swamps over here. Let's get it maxed out in terms of walls. We can also destroy this spawn pool of the Braves, I think. Right, because we have a spawn pool of the Chosen coming in, and we don't need two of these. Yeah, take that out. Take that out, we'll replace it with another building. And you guys now. Now we have to think about what we're going to do in terms of trading troops. What is the best way to do this? What is the best way to do this? How many Arcs of Sotek did I decide Henwen needs? That's the real question here. Well, first of all, he doesn't need all these red-crested skinks. We'll replace one, and then we have to make... oh man, how the hell are we going to make room for freaking 3 chameleon skinks? I don't want to get rid of this many Arcs of Sotek. I guess we get rid of 1 Arc of Sotek and then 1 of these guys. Oh, we will still need to get rid of another one. I don't want to get rid of another red-crested skink. But I do want to get the Blessed Chameleon Skinks in here, especially, like, what if we never manage to get Oxyodal? So who else is going to buff Skinks as much as Tehenowin? Nobody, that's who. But it also feels like one Basti with the Revivification Crystal is not enough. These guys really do, I feel, need them, don't they? Then again, with the Arcs of Sotek, maybe we could get by with one. It's kind of iffy, because these guys are pretty fragile. At least, they're very fragile when they get hit with magic or anything, or like, chariots or anything like that. And it does feel like you should have more Arcs of Sotek in this army. You know, let's try it with one for now, and we'll see how it performs. Because I really don't see anybody else who we could get rid of. I suppose we could get rid of the Chameleon Stalkers, but I like the idea, even if it does feel like a little bit too much. We could try to give them 3 Chameleon Skinks instead, but then what? There's going to be a unit of Blessed Chameleon Skinks which is all alone somewhere? I kind of don't like that either. You know what we could also do, though? We could give him 2 Blessed Chameleon Skinks and give the other 2 Blessed Chameleon Skinks to Nakai, in addition to the Red-Crested Skinks that he's going to get, especially because he's not going to have nearly as many heroes. That's another option. We would then be able to take, let's see, we'd be able to keep 4 Arcs of Sotek and 2 Basties with Revivification Crystal. That would be pretty strong. Now, then again, these guys are going to be on dinos as well, especially if they're on big dinos, then I guess they won't really need to make the Arcs of Sotek super necessary. You know what, let's do it like this for now. 1 Revivification Crystal and 3 Arcs of Sotek, and then we'll see. We'll see how it performs. If I'm not happy with it, we'll change it around a little bit. There we go. Now we have 5 units. It feels like there's not enough units of Red-Crested Skinks in this army because of this. A little bit too dino heavy. I mean, altogether, there's a very decent number of Skinks, especially if you include the Skink heroes. But it would be wrong not to have Arcs of Sotek in Tehenowin's army. I hope I'm not crazy here. Now you, Predot. Here's another question: do we need Revivification Crystals in Nakai's army? I probably could use a couple. Honestly, we could probably use a couple in every army. I was about to say we should ferry these guys over to here, because Cytochrome is in need of some upgrades to these Feral Basties. Change a couple of them out to Arcs of Sotek, or maybe 1 out to an Arc of Sotek, 2 out to a Revivification Crystal, then maybe take 1 out and replace it with another Feral Troglodon or something like that, or maybe don't replace it at all and put... oh, right, he's gonna get a hero, so yeah, that would make sense. Like this guy, you're going to Cytochrome. Okay, fine. You're gonna transfer these troops to Nakai, then. Okay, not you. You're gonna transfer these troops to Nakai. No, you're Nakai yourself. You're gonna transfer these troops to Nakai. Oh, why are you making a difficult game? Let's take all of these guys, then. Minus the Arc of Sotek, and then you're gonna sort of sit somewhere and build a bunch more Revivification Crystals. Now, Nakai's already at 13 out of 20. Yeah, I think that's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay for now. There we go. And then let's say we put a couple more Croxagors in here, and like one more Sacred Croxagors, maybe a couple regular Croxagors, and then just fill out the rest of the ranks with Red-Crested Skinks. I don't think we need any more dinos, because this is going to be a Croxy-focused sort of thing. Now, Predot, I guess you're going to stay in the Awakening. In fact, you can just sit right here and recruit from the Blood Swamps. Now, can we make Revivification Crystals out of here? No, we don't have the Beast Lair. I wonder if we are able to make them at all. In fact, I just want to see whether we're maxed out with regards to them. Okay, somebody who has access to global recruitment, please. We are at 5 out of 6, so we can make 1 more. It's kind of not enough. And we could recruit them directly over here in theory. Alright, well, I'll think about that. We'll think about it. Let's end the turn here. Oh, wait, no. I am crazy. We are not going to end the turn. We need to continue the attack here. Yes. Okay. Okay, then. You, Mavkatel, I guess you're going to support this. I honestly don't think Mazdamundi's going to need that much help, but I think you need to make this battle go a little bit faster. So get right there, let's say. Hopefully nobody attacks the Pyramid of Nagash immediately after this. What if there's like 3 armies right here? I would get so annoyed. I don't see any camps there, though. Is this just a torch in the middle of the road? I think it's just a torch. It's not a camp. Sometimes you can tell where camps are by looking in the fog, but I'm not seeing any. Alright, I hope I don't come to regret this and have to lose the vaults of Nagash to this. Alright, let's hit Khemri. And it is once again low casualties, but I am going to fight this cinematically because there's some really cool units in here. A bunch of Ushabti, 2 Necrosphinxes, a Hyro Titan. I feel like they will certainly put up a fight once we're in the actual battle. I probably should have attacked the actual lords out here and taken them into a field battle. Oh, although actually that probably wouldn't have worked because the casualties are low. The AI wouldn't have wanted to do that. Alright, fine, let's just fight this like this, and battle time, go. Alrighty, time for the Siege of Khemri. Unfortunately for the AI, it looks like about half of their army is going to get destroyed before they ever get to engage with us. So the units that will not get destroyed, of course, are going to be all of the monstrous units, all the constructs that are out here. Once again, the AI using its Tomb Swarm in the middle of nowhere for some reason. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that. Yeah, it's got a lot of these Tomb Guard up here, and we should be able to take care of them with our artillery. First, obviously, we're going to focus down the enemy walls. Our secondary army is also going to move in, and we do have more artillery coming in as well. So that should be nice. There we go, and I do have 1 each targeting each of these towers, so that'll take some time. Oh, it would be really cool if, like, if you could keep upgrading these towers into, like, the statues in them would, like, come alive and attack things that are nearby. I really feel like they could have done a little bit more differentiation with the towers. I know that Druki cities have some interesting defenses that aren't just towers, that are like part of the walls and stuff, like curses and ghosts and stuff, or wraiths or whatever. And I'm willing to bet that there is a lot of other interesting stuff. But they went fairly lazy with the towers. Well, they do look cool when they get destroyed. Down you go. And that one down almost simultaneously, and then that one down. Beautiful. And then there was one. And then there was one, although I feel like I forgot to target this one, but that's not important. We can still bring down the gate, we can still wreck all these Tomb Guard up here, and that's before we get our flyers, our Fire Leech Bolas, who are moving around to attack the enemy from this side to hopefully kill the enemy catapults before the Temple Guard move in and, you know, get damaged by said catapults. So let's just keep waiting. I guess we could speed this up a little while the artillery keep doing their thing. We're also going to move up our salamanders to start destroying all the Tomb Guard there. Alright, you keep moving up, salamanders. You keep moving up. What are we at here at Gatehouse? 18%. Alright, oh, 15%. 18 was the gatehouse, not the gate. Yes. I did say gatehouse, so I wasn't wrong. But I wasn't gonna say gatehouse, so yeah. Alright, now we're finally focusing down the other the other tower over here. It looks like the enemy lord is once again using the Tomb Swarm on itself. Why? Do you just like to bathe in scarabs? This guy just likes to bathe in scarabs, that's it. I figured it out. The only reason he must want to do this. Alright, the enemy tower is down, and now we should be free to move in the salamanders. In the meantime, we should also be free to move in our flyers any second now. Well, I can see the salamanders moving in and the flyers moving in at the same time. Damn. I bet wrong. I was wondering who did I move first, the salamanders or the flyers? But regardless, here come the fireworks, at least added fireworks in addition to the solar engines. There we go, and I do believe I targeted this lord here with the Stegodon, but unfortunately some of these salamanders look like they want to waste their shots on him. This really does feel like it's an auto-target thing, because I feel like every single faction, archers, or bowmen, or quarrelers, whatever, any kind of range units you move up, they almost always try to target the lords and heroes on top of the walls instead of the regular units, which is really bizarre, especially with units that are like... like the salamanders, which aren't very good at targeting single-target non-larger entity lords like that. They're supposed to, you know, dish it out with their splash damage, but instead they waste all their shots. Fortunately, we can just manually retarget them, and oh, it looks like the enemy lord here did get wounded. That was by virtue of the Stegodon, I'm willing to bet. On the bright side, now that we've targeted multiple enemies at the same time, and oh, we are also getting our Amaxon Barb helping out. Yeah, multiple units being targeted at the same time means we're not wasting as many shots, although, to be fair, a decent amount are being wasted here. I do end up moving the salamanders off of that anyway. We still have plenty of ammunition remaining, like 65% or something along those lines. In the meantime, it looks like our flyers did destroy the enemy's Screaming Skull catapults. They sort of flew in, dropped their bombs right on top of them, and flew right out. The problem is they started getting hurt by virtue of the fact that there is a new Shopti with Great Bow right here that started to fire on them, as well as the Hyro Titan that got a Gaze of Nagash going. Now the Tomb Guard, they're all in a pretty darn bad way. A few of them have already been destroyed, and the rest should fall quite quickly. Maybe what I should have done here is had the artillery target these guys a little bit, because the artillery can destroy the individual Merlins up here to prevent them from blocking shots, but to be fair, it's not like these guys are going to survive. This is a pretty hellish wall to be guarding. How you doing down there, Salamanders? Alright, moving these guys over here so that they can continue attacking these Tomb Guard. I really wish that Khemri had a better map. Like, this is just a standard boring map with like one corner of the city. Like, might have been a little bit more interesting to defend even a wall that looks like this instead of this very, very standard wall, you know what I mean? Or maybe for Khemri like this, with like a secondary wall down here where you could place archers up on top of here that could also fire down on units that tried to claim that wall. That would have been more difficult to take. And yeah, I know that there's mods for extra maps, but as I've noted before, they have killed a campaign or two of mine previously, and I don't trust them. At least I don't trust them when I'm doing a reasonably slow Let's Play. If I were to like marathon one in a couple weeks, I would then probably use a lot more mods, but you know, maybe someday. It's definitely a goal. I'd love to play around with more and crazier mods. I'm just not willing to lose campaigns that take a decent amount of time and investment. Anyway, looks like we have 2 units of Tomb Guard left. Well, technically 3, but one of them's about to disappear, and they are all going to continue getting wrecked by these salamanders. And yeah, I could have sped through with this, but it's kind of fun watching them all get wrecked by the fireworks. Sort of a little preview for Cathay, maybe? And there we go. And how are we doing here? Alrighty, oh, did you guys just get off the walls? Okay, I guess they don't want to play anymore. Well, these guys are still up here. These guys are brave, unlike you cowards. Go back on the walls. Guard them. Oh, but they're still getting shot up here. They have nowhere to hide from the fireworks. And on top of all this, a major benefit is just by virtue of the destruction of the enemies, we were able to have to activate the enemy's Realm of Souls, and I think it was repeatedly at the same time. So while they healed, it wasn't enough to out-heal the damage from the salamanders, and now the enemy units that are left, like the Ushabti and the rest of the monsters, will not have access to any Realm of Souls. They did, however, summon a unit of Ushabti up here, and they did surround one of our Bastillodons, but, I mean, our artillery is pretty damn well poised, or placed, I suppose, to defend itself, so it's not like this is a huge deal either way. The Basties will be able to take care of this just fine, I'm sure. In the meantime, we are finally moving into the city. Mazda's heading in, following Cricket, who just gets an instant attack. Oh, that's a cool shot. Hyro Titan versus Saurus and Carnosaur. Mazdamundi, you are coming in as well. Looking real cool moving through that gate with the fireworks all around. The salamanders are celebrating. Maybe he forced them to do that. Alright, you two. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Bite his ankles. Bite his ankles, Carnosaur. Or I guess Zlok wants to bite his ankles. Somebody bite the ankles, you know. As long as somebody bites the ankles, I'm happy. Alrighty, and now we have our Star Chamber Guardians getting in and moving slowly but surely. It's pretty menacingly at that. I kind of like that. There we go. And now they're going to help surround this. Oh man, they look so tiny compared to a freaking Hyro Titan. Getting some laser eyes in there. Cricket's gonna smack some Ushabti around. Ushabti's still doing pretty good damage to Cricket. We can see him drop. He wasn't taking any damage from the Hyro Titan, but as soon as the Ushabti charged in there and surrounded him, the damage started to go in. Now over here, I did drop our Terminators, but then at the end, I decided to sacrifice them by getting a Ruination of Cities as well as a few other casts right on top of them, as well as the Ushabti. I really wanted to test how effective Ruination of Cities was against Ushabti instead of mobbed units. Obviously, it's not very effective. I mean, it did okay damage, I guess, I don't know, let's say 15% to each. Probably a little bit less because the Temple Guard also probably did some damage. And I wanted to test that as compared to the Deliverance of Itza, which does pretty insane damage to Ushabti and even units like that, which we will see in a little bit when they charge in. In the meantime, keep killing the Hyro Titan and the Ushabti here. Hyro Titan is always doing a great job surviving. It is an incredibly tanky unit after all, and we don't really have the ranged firepower to sort of break these things down like we would with another faction. A couple units of handgunners would certainly help us. I suppose if we ever get enough Ogre Mercenaries, we could technically get their... I forget what unit of ranged Ogre Mercenaries we have. It's not Lead Belchers, I don't think so. I think it's just a Ogre Pistol, maybe? We'll see. And there we go. Deliverance of Itza going down on the Ushabti and basically destroying it. That unit is done, and then we're going to drop another Deliverance of Itza on these two. They're about 40 to 30% HP, and another one's going to hit them in a couple seconds. And here we go. And this is a third level Deliverance of Itza, the max. Boom, right there. Look at that. Look how many of them dropped instantly. Both of those units basically die with only a couple units remaining, and both of them, or those on this side over here. You gotta love Lord Croak. He is so obnoxiously overpowered. Now it's... Ooh. What is this grasping hand from? Huh. Oh, that was the Curse of the Midnight Wind, wasn't it? I think so. Do you have a Curse of the... No, you don't have a Curse of the Midnight Wind on you. What was that? Maybe it was something that Cetra did? Huh. Let me tell me what that animation signifies, what spell that is. Does it look cool? And I want to repeat it. But if it's the Tomb Kings doing it, well then I guess we can. And okay, Cetra, you're gonna charge in. We are gonna take a little bit of damage to ourselves from our own flyers, but I do order them away, seeing that they are hurting our Temple Guard. And it looks like an enemy. This is not a War Sphinx. This is a Necro Sphinx. Moves in. Hi, buddy. Hey, how you doing? And I just wanted to show you guys the charge of this guy, and he's gonna jump right in on this and stab the screen. I really wish the camera didn't fade out and it would actually stab the screen, but it was close enough. Some really cool animations though, you gotta admit. Alrighty, looks like he's gonna be fighting the Temple Guard, but I'm willing to bet not for a long. He's absolutely surrounded. What kind of HP are you looking at, buddy? That's still pretty good despite being surrounded, but of course we do have Lord Mazdamundi and Cricket both here. Cricket is dealing with Cetra for now, but I don't think Cetra's going to survive much longer. And have we fought Cetra before, or is this the first time? I don't remember. I feel like we fought him once before. You know what? Just by virtue of the fact that his chariot's wheels are sort of on fire with that blue fire, it makes me think that maybe that Grasping Hand was something that he did. I just didn't recognize the spell. Alrighty, and Cetra goes down, and the Necrosphinx is almost dead as well. Mazdamundi didn't even really need to handle it. Down you go. Down you go, and just like that, this battle is pretty much over. Yeah, we still have a few more hits to land with our Pterodon Riders. Our Cricket is busily killing the enemy Tomb Prince over here, who's probably not going to survive much longer. Cricket's really grown on me over this Let's Play. He's done a great job. He's murdered so damn many enemy lords. He's always in the front line, always dueling enemies. Pretty great. Mazdamundi, you wanna get in on this as well. Zlak charging with those pretty cool carved horns that he's got. And here we go. Last unit on the field, I believe, is this Necrosphinx who is disintegrating now that Cetra is down for the count, as well as the other lords and heroes. Ooh, tried to swipe at this one Temple Guard unit, but the Temple Guard unit did survive. And it survived again, and I don't think you're going to get another shot, are you? You're gonna get charged any second now. And here we go. The dinos go in, and somebody brought him down. Lovely, and I wanted to see the death animation, but I suppose we've seen plenty of death animations this time, and we took like no damage whatsoever. A pretty overwhelming victory at the capital of Khemri, which is, you know, Khemri itself. All right, let's see how we did in terms of damage, but I'm honestly even curious to see whether we lost a single unit. Alrighty, there we are. Pretty easy battle. Maybe I should have auto-resolved it. It certainly wasn't any kind of problem with 5 losses. The entire complement of enemy Tomb Guard, of course, getting wrecked by our salamanders, and the Screaming Skull Catapults getting wrecked by our flyers. Then it was only the monsters that really were any kind of threat, and the only kills they got, -5, were those on the Terminators that sort of kept them distracted. So I'm pretty damn happy with this, but I'm hoping that we can find a more difficult battle. It would have been probably a lot more fun to fight it in the field, but you know, it wasn't like the AI was going to fall for that anyway. So let's occupy Khemri. We'll take it at level 4, I believe, which should be pretty good. 50 charge bonus for Mazdamundi. He's now at 130 charge. Pretty damn good for a caster lord. And let's see, Khemri, you immediately have yourself a gold smelter, which we're going to immediately upgrade. Now, well, considering Khemri has a gold smelter, we should probably... Oh, why do you have a Temple of the... Wait, yeah, you have a Temple of the old ones, not a Temple of Sotek. Yeah, we'll keep the old ones temple because it increases the money, and I guess we're just going to be generating money out of this province anyway. I don't want to get rid of everything, but I will get rid of this, and I think this. We will keep this one Temple Guard barracks just because it gives us a Source Scar Veteran, and wait, would this allow us to immediately build Temple Guard? It would. It would. We could get rid of these 2 Source units and just replace them with Temple Guard. We don't have any Blessed Temple Guard yet, unfortunately. In fact, we haven't gotten any new Blessed units for a long, long time, unfortunately. I don't really want these 2 units to go, but I feel like they're too fragile compared to the regular Temple Guard. Even if they do dish out a decent amount of damage, they're actually about the same in terms of damage. They're just more fragile, right? So, yeah. Plus they have the Primal Instincts, plus they don't have shields, so they're not really blocking too much in the way of enemy ranged fire. Are we going to continue using them in another army? I don't really see it. Like, sure, we could technically trade them to this army, but then we'd be getting rid of a better unit. I don't see the point. I really don't see the point. Alrighty, let's just get rid of them and let's wait. How many turns will it take to build 2 Temple Guard here? Oh, we'd have to sit here for 3 turns with Mazda. You know what, I think we'll do that with another Lord. Mazda's okay, and in fact, wait, speaking of other lords, can you go into Martans now? Damn, I was hoping to get you into Khemri to heal up, but because you're not healing where you currently are. Let us also build walls in Khemri, but I guess we'll do that next turn because it's not available right now. Everything else looks pretty good to me. You are no longer needed in the Pools of Despair, so let's head you out to Zandri and then to Al-Haik. Or do we just try to march towards Al-Haik immediately? I think if we march towards it right now, we might be able to siege it next turn. Yeah, fine, just do this. And just do this. There we go. Hopefully there wasn't an army, like, right here ready to attack the Pools of Despair again. I wouldn't be too surprised, but, you know, we'll have to deal with it. Now, Bel Aliad, you had walls, but you no longer need them. In fact, nowhere here will need walls anymore. Black Tower of Arcan, you can keep walls because you're near Sudenburg, though. And we will send somebody to attack Sudenburg later. Vulture Mountain, you definitely don't need walls. I have the Panther and stuff is fine. Lashik, you do need walls because you're a coastal settlement. Damn, we gotta get walls up in so damn many places. Alright, I believe that's everything in terms of the lords that need to move. Let's just level up a few lords. Man, I forgot how low level Moff Catel still is. After all that fighting. Well, let's get him his Slann force field, which he was working towards, so that should help out the army considerably. Lord Kroak has also leveled up. He has maxed out all the Deliverance of Itzas. So I guess, well, we could get higher state of consciousness just so that he's less likely to die. We could also max out the supreme shield of the old ones. I don't feel like we need either Roiling Skies or Exorcism right now, as it's probably not going to give us too much. We could also alternatively save points to put them into this line and buff up all Slann instead. How about maybe we do that? Maybe we just save the points on Lord Croak. So yeah, skip that. There's another unassigned skill point. Oh, I guess that was somebody else in Lord Croak, my bad. Damaged buildings in Axolotl, that's not a problem. And I believe with that we're good to end the turn. We also have to figure out where we want to put this new Saurus Scar veteran that we got last time, because we did get one with leader of his kind, so we might as well put him in a Saurus leadership position, which I guess is right now your army. You buff Saurus, right? I just want to double check. I'm pretty sure that you buff Saurus and Temple Guard, but do you buff them equally? You do. I really didn't want to rely on an army full of Saurus, but I guess if we already have so many. Just to rebuild Temple Guard. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll do Saurus, and then I will figure out what to do with you otherwise. Alrighty, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's end the turn. Let's see what Itza does. Itza ease as Itza does. I have no idea where the hell I was heading you now, buddy. You're a Skink Priest of Beasts. Are you a Kroxigor leader? Is this guy a Kroxigor leader? Is that why he's here? We're gonna have to find out. Alright, Alethanar, let me guess you want another military alliance. No, thank you. We are currently, not really military aligned with anybody, but as long as you're still fighting the Dark Elves and the Skaven up here, I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, the Skaven look to be pretty powerful, although once again, we can't tell if that's the Skaven or whether that's the Beastmen destroying stuff, right? Because we have a bunch of blood grounds all over here, but this is all probably Skavened up. I'm actually shocked that Karant Kar is still alive. Alright, let's proceed. Itza, wow, you didn't attack anywhere now, which is good. Oh, I see something out there. Something in the sea. Somebody's coming for us. Who can it be? Is it Noctilus or is it a rogue army? That's the real thing. I swear I saw it move at the same time that we saw the Noctilus's faction move. Alright, Assault Garrison success, not a big deal. Rite of Awakening, and yes indeed it is. Merry Sea Urchin with 10 units. They could just retake Galleon's Graveyard. Do we bother with them? I really don't care that much about it. Alright, Rite of Sotek is ready. A bunch of demolitions complete, so we do have a decent amount of cash. Let's see about spending it. Now you... Are you ready to fight Tehenneman? Tehenneman can reach you, actually. If you don't run, this might be a fun fight for him. While you two maybe take the Phoenix Serpent. Yes, I like that. Let's level you up, Oracle. What do we get you? I mean, we probably want to max out Earthblood, because it's probably the thing with Windblast that we're going to be using the most, so I don't really see any reason not to max it out, so let's do that. And then to Tehenneman, let's see if we can get you one more battle. We do have time for one more quick one this episode after all. Go. Tepti. Alright, kill Tepti. Oh, hello. Another army out here, so if we get badly hurt, they'll probably attack us. Are you going to run? No, you are willing to fight Tehenneman, and it's going to be a close victory, eh? Really? Is it because of the fact that you're a Slann? Oh, he is a level 17 Slann. Interesting. Well, because of the last battle was a cinematic battle, we're going to have to make a cut here, so here it comes. Then I'll comment over that one, and then we'll do this one cinematic style as well, because this one does look fun as well, and I have not nearly gotten enough of Tehenneman's army. Although I do want to point out that this will be a test of Tehenneman's army with only a single revivification crystal. If it's not enough, we will have to maybe replace one of the Basties with Ark of Sotek with another crystal, so that it'll be 2 and 2. Not as great with the Arks of Sotek, but to be fair, Tehenneman's on an engine of the gods, and then if we put another 2 on engines of the gods as well, then I think we'll be okay. But anyway, here comes the cut. Alrighty, there's the cut, and here we go. I'm willing to bet this is going to be a real fun battle. Alright, here we go. Time for another battle for Tehenoan, and I do think that this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup for a number of reasons. They do have some fairly elite units in the form of the Blessed Bastillodon, the Solar Engine, and 2 units of Blessed Kroxigors, or Blessed Kroxigors. They also have a bunch of Feral Cold ones that, something of a concern, particularly for the Chameleon Skink, so I do believe they're fast enough to catch at, let's see... they are at 70 speed. Might be fast enough to catch. And then, other than that, they also have a very elite unit of Cold One Riders that they could charge something with. Again, dangerous for the Chameleon Skinks. And most importantly of all, the vast majority of the enemy melee line, i.e. their main battle line, is actually Saurus units. Saurus Warriors, more Saurus Warriors, more Saurus Warriors, a bunch of Saurus Warriors, and a Temple Guard unit. I only think there's one Skink unit that is not a Chameleon Skink in the entire battle line. Plus, on top of this, the enemy has 4 heroes, nearly a match to our 5. So I think this is a really cool matchup to sort of test our Skinks against, because they have a more, I suppose, resilient main battle line in the form of the Saurus, plus the heroes and stuff. I think one of the unfortunate bits about this is that I've now noticed that our main battle line is a little bit too small now, with only 5 melee units, i.e. the 5 red-crested Skinks units. This might be telling, and not in a good way, as in if flanking units hit a red-crested Skinks unit, I don't expect them to survive very long. Of course, how would we combat that? Now, we do have 6 units that are sort of stalking flanker units, i.e. 1 unit of Chameleon Stalkers and 4 units of Blessed Chameleon Skinks. I suppose what we'll have to do is we'll have to see how the Chameleon Skinks function in terms of their fight, and then maybe consider dropping 1 or 2 of them. I'm just worried, like, we've definitely fought armies that have, like, 19 Saurus units or something like that. What the hell would happen to our melee line if that were to happen? Now, a few would probably be led away by the Blessed Chameleon Skinks, but other than that. Anyway, let's take a look at the actual battle. Now, on this side of the map, we have, once again, 2 of our units of Chameleon Skinks, as well as our Chameleon Stalkers. They're sort of milling around in the jungle, trying to draw away the enemy. Unfortunately, one of the enemy that is being drawn forward is the unit of Feral Cold Ones, and they're actually taking damage. They are getting poisoned by the Chameleon Skinks, but they're... while they are taking damage in the sense that they're being fired upon, it's not a lot of damage, I will admit. It looks like the precursor weapons, or whatever the hell they're called. Yeah, it is precursor weapons. Hey, I got it right this time. I'm proud of myself. They appear to be doing a decent bit more damage than the Chameleon Skinks are doing in the jungle. I'm actually curious as to how effective the Chameleon Skinks are in the jungle, in the forest in general, in the sense that do the blow guns, blow darts, whatever, do they also get blocked by trees, or do Chameleon Skinks have like an expert jungle skirmisher trait or something like that I'm not aware of? Now, the enemy has 2 Feral Manticores. I think this one was summoned and this one was real, or are they both summoned? They really summoned 2. I probably could have summoned one with Tehenoan myself, but I might have screwed that one up a little bit. Now, our flanking force is going to try to go around. The goal of these guys is going to be to take out the Feral Manticores, if they don't get killed by the Red-Crested Skinks first, as well as this Temple Guard unit, which is going to be very difficult for us to deal with. Now, we do have to remember that the Red-Crested Skinks, i.e. the regular ones, are armor-piercing weapons, as opposed to these Chameleon Skinks, which are not, and I don't think the Chameleon Stalkers are either. So that's certainly something to be concerned about in terms of heavier enemy units. Like, if this was a full line of Temple Guard and no regular source, this would be very, very dangerous for us. We'd have to rely a lot more on Tehenoan and stuff. Now, Tehenoan's going to drop his Engine of the Gods right across this line of range units where the Chameleon Skinks and the regular Skinks, the Skink cohort of Javelins, have congregated. This should give a decent number of kills for Tehenoan. Oh, yeah. Look at that Engine of the Gods go. Beautiful. Lovely. I wonder how many kills that was. Well, yeah, these units got pretty crippled by that, but they were by far the weakest units that the enemy had on the field. We can see on the side here, these red-crested skinks are being quite hurt, but that's not surprising as they did get attacked by both the Temple Guard and 2 units of Feral Manticores. As I was saying, the units that are on the flanks are very much in danger, and this is one of them. Now, this is also, I think, going to show why we need a second Revivification Crystal, because one is not enough to maintain the entire line, and if we had a second one, we could have put it on the flank to help out this particular unit. A, act as an anchor, but B, act as a healer for this one unit of red-crested skinks. Now let's take a look at what's going on in the jungles over here. It looks like, despite the fact that these 2 chameleon skinks units are doing okay amounts of damage to the feral cold ones, although granted, they've been firing at them this entire time. And in terms of stats, 48, 28, 38 versus 40, 53, and 30, and I'm looking at the melee weapon strength. These guys should be... They should be quite a bit stronger than them, shouldn't they? Especially since there are 2 of them, both in melee and in range. So it's a little bit disappointing that they're taking so long to hurt them, but maybe it's because blow darts don't go through trees. Let me see here. Can we catch any of these just smacking into trees and being blocked? Kind of hard to tell. Really getting kind of hard to tell. Come on. Blow darts. Alright, you gonna hit a tree? No. Really? No, that one looked like it passed through the tree. And so did that one. Maybe they do go through trees. I am not entirely sure, but then why did that one... Where did that one disappear to? It might have hit the ground. Anyway, let's get back to over here, where the Chameleon Stalkers have been charged both by a unit of Blessed Kroxigors and a Saurus Scar Veteran. A very tough matchup for them, although I am impressed that they are able to hold the line. They're such a cool-looking unit. You gotta love these guys, but... that's obviously not really something that they can take care of, especially as they're supposed to flank and, you know, stalk and attack enemies, not sort of be a front liner like this. Really not surprising that they're not really doing any damage at all. Now, Ishlatek is out over here. He still doesn't have his mount, his Carnosaurus. He is level, I don't remember, 14 or 15, so he's very slowly trying to approach this other Saurus Scar Veteran in order to get a duel going. Now, let's return to the main battle line as we try to take care of these Saurus. We can see on this flank over here, both of our units of Chameleon Skinks, they have... they've been firing into, I think, just the Temple Guard here because they have turned around. We're just trying to shoot them in the back. Of course, this is not doing a crazy amount of damage, but at least it is poisoning them, so it is preventing them from being too crazy themselves. But they're not taking... They're certainly surviving the damage there. They're still eager, active, and they've been fighting this time, and they've been shot in the back by 2 units, and they're okay. They're very much okay, so props to the Temple Guard. However, the main line of the enemy has buckled. The center line primarily has been destroyed, but that's mostly not because of our red-crested skinks, so much as the dinos that are over here. The Basti with Revivification is here, and Tehanawan as well as one of the Arcs of Sotek. Oh, and the other Arc of Sotek is nearby over here, so not surprising that those guys are gonna win. Now, the red-crested skinks are getting kind of beat up by this one Saurus Warrior unit, which just kind of goes to show you the matchup, because this is a one-on-one, except the fact that we're also getting Basti with Arc of Sotek help. Right, and what's the stats on the enemy sorcerers? 42-53 to 75-56 with a very low charge bonus on our guys, but kind of surprising that they're not doing as much damage. Still, a really fun matchup. I love watching the little red-crested skinks swing those giant maces around. It's very fun. They're jumping up and down and just smacking those Saurus around. Anyway, let's check out the rest of the battle. The main line, as I said, is already crumbling. The Temple Guard are holding strong and have almost destroyed this one unit of red-crested skinks. We are getting a few... oh, wow. Actually getting a decent amount of shots coming in from the Blessed Chameleon Skinks into our own units. I'm actually surprised there. I thought that the blow darts would have decent accuracy when firing into backs of units. But it looks like the tiny skinks, despite this, are not protected by the backs of the Temple Guard. That's a crying shame. Now over here we have our unit of chameleon stalkers, which have been trying to move around our what's it called? Our oracle has been targeting these blessed Croxagores with its range damage, and we, as they were trying to run away, we decided to catch them with our chameleon stalkers. Unfortunately, they were just able to rally and then attack these guys, doing a little bit of damage, and we suffered some damage to our chameleon stalkers ourselves. Now, was that from our own unit? No, that was from the enemy chameleon skinks. Okay, fair enough. That is fair enough. We can see a decent amount of enemy units routing. Over here, our own chameleon stalkers have moved away, but they are still alive, so definitely impressed there. We've also summoned our Terminators, our Temple Guard, on top of this Saurus Scar Veteran and the Cold One. Was that Feral Cold One? Or was that the Spear Riders? You know, it's the Cold One Riders, the elite unit of Cold One Riders. So we summoned these guys to help out Ishlatek. They're going to be debuffed, but he was trying to go in and kill the Saurus Scar Veteran, but most importantly, to protect these chameleon skinks, or chameleon stalkers over here. These two chameleon skinks, in the meantime, are still fighting these damn Feral Cold Ones. Like, this has been 4.5 minutes. How long does it take to kill the cheapest, most garbage unit on the roster, right? I mean, maybe tied with the skink cohort without javelins, but damn. Alrighty, finally, after a lot of hits and a lot of damage from now a second unit of red-crested skinks, as well as these two units of chameleon skinks hitting them, the Temple Guard are starting to get ready to wrap, but damn did it take them a long time. Ooh, obviously not a great matchup for the chameleon skinks, but, you know, you gotta fire at something. At least they were applying poison to them the entire time, although, to be fair, the red-crested skinks could maybe use some poison themselves, and that wouldn't necessitate us bringing the chameleon skinks to apply it. I wonder if there's an upgrade for blessed chameleons, blessed red-crested skinks. Do blessed red-crested skinks exist? I hope they do. That would give them poison, maybe. Alrighty, but with that, the enemy army has routed. The center line sort of won the battle for us, whereas the flanks got kind of beat up, especially this flank, but this was kind of its own thing, and they almost brought down the Terminators as well. I'm a little bit, I gotta say, disappointed in the performance of the Blessed Chameleon Skinks in the trees, fighting those Feral Cold Ones, though. I gotta think about this. Maybe there's some retooling of this army that needs to be done. Granted, they didn't get all that badly damaged. We did have a few damage units, but they'll heal up after the battle, and after that they will be more or less fine. But I think we can adjust. And they're doing very, very little damage to the Slann here. Oh, Slann, I'm curious. How much is your standard missile resistance? 40 missile resistance plus 27 physical plus 5 wards. Okay, yeah, well, it's no wonder you're not taking much damage from the Blessed Chameleon skinks, but Tehanoan was finally able to bring you down. Good job, buddy. It looks like you got a decent amount of kills with your Engine of the Gods and a couple uses of that Flock of Doom, and it's still a nice little battle for us. I really enjoyed it. I do like the ones that aren't just a straight up a very, very easy win. You gotta work for it, and we certainly had to work for it, especially on our flanks where some dangerous stuff was happening between the Temple Guard and the Blessed Croxagores. But on the other hand, between Blessed Croxagores and Temple Guard, those are some damn elite units, and we really didn't have anything remotely that elite, right? Our highest rank units are the Basties, which I believe are rank 3, or tier 3 rather. Croxagores are level 4, and those were blessed Croxagores on top of that. And I don't. Well, I guess Tehanoan would count as a super elite unit just by virtue, and the same with the Oracle. But those are heroes, so I'm not quite counting them as units, quote unquote, in that sense. But anyway, let's see how we did in terms of damage. I really am curious to see how much everybody was able to dish out, because that does that'll help us decide what to do with this army in terms of any adjustments we need to make. Alrighty, yet another battle for Tehennowin ends up in a victory, although we did take a reasonable amount of damage this time. I do want to point out that we didn't have the second revivification crystal, and this time the red-crested skinks got a lot more hurt. I was actually fairly disappointed with the chameleon skinks in this particular case. I feel like maybe 4 might be too many in this army. Maybe we bring it down to 2. The fact that 2 of them got kind of wrecked by a single unit feral cold ones, which they did win in the end, but the feral cold ones, despite being an absolute trash unit, survived for a shockingly long time. Now, I will grant that these are blessed chameleon skinks, and 2 of them were firing into a temple guard unit, which can resist a lot of their shots because of their armor, but still, the damage dealt, especially considering that 2 of them spent a lot of time running after enemy units, was pretty negligible. This unit got hurt really bad. Well, I guess this unit got even more hurt, and it did about comparable or more damage to all of the chameleon skinks. Maybe they don't receive enough buffs. I mean, to be fair, Tehennowin doesn't really buff chameleon skinks that much. He doesn't actually buff missile damage. He primarily buffs armor, melee defense, a melee attack, that sort of thing. So it doesn't really work so well for them. So maybe at the end of the day, we're better off getting a couple more red crests than a couple more chameleon skinks. Or maybe another revivification crystal. I still think that at the end of the day, we probably will be better off going 2 and 2, and then maybe replacing 2 of these with a couple red crests, and then putting the 2 of them in Nakai's army for now. Eventually, maybe we'll put them in Oxyodal's army, but the way I figure it, put them in Nakai's army where if the enemy has artillery, they can focus those guys down. Because here we saw them fighting against enemies that they weren't really ideally suited to fight, and they're just not very good at doing that, especially when they're firing at units that are super elite. That's not what they're meant for. They're meant to harass and annoy, but if they can't even lead away feral cold ones and fight them, gonna be disappointing in the late game. It's not like they did very, very poorly, and it's just that they did more poorly than I think their upgrades in this particular army would warrant. I feel like, considering it's a maximum skink upgrade army, it should have done better. Although I don't remember, does Tehennowin... did I get the red line buffs for them or not? Because if I didn't, that might have been... one of the reasons why this happened. Now, let's see. Exterminate or claim warriors. I feel like we claim these warriors. They should follow Tehennowin. Alright, now these guys, they are now too close together, and I think we can't attack both of them at the same time, unfortunately. We did get ourselves another war banner, and Tehennowin leveled up this. He does indeed have the skirmisher buff for them. Yeah, so then I feel like 2 is going to be more beneficial. Let's get Epicentrist, because we do want to get the buffs for all the basties in his army. Like so. And then we have to figure out what to do. Now, what we could do is move Predot to sort of help out with this. And, oh, I guess... I was going to send Nakai to deal with the Fuming Serpent, but I guess we could go back. What if Fuming Serpent starts building an army? But we can't leave Tehennowin out here alone because these guys are here and they might hurt him. He is in his own territory right now, I think. Yeah, he is. Alright, so then I think what we'll do is we'll move you guys together. Ooh, you know what we'll do instead? Oh, Nakai can't get close enough. Damn. I was about to say move Nakai right here and then put him into ambush. But I don't think that's going to work. You need 50 or 25? No, you need 25. It's the closest you can get Nakai. You got an 80% chance to ambush, eh? It would actually be really cool if this worked. Let's put you right here at 30. Let's put you right here at 30. And now I'm actually kind of curious, what kind of upgrades do the Blessed Chameleon Skinks possess? We can get Blessed Spawning of Chotek, which increases their... which gives them fire damage, but it wouldn't really help us there against units like the Temple Guard. We could give them regeneration and damage resistance, which is all swell, but I think the problem is their ability to dish out damage. The fact that they can get the fire upgrade is pretty cool, though. The question is, does this apply to their ranged attacks or only their melee attacks? Because if it applies to their ranged attacks, it might actually be worthwhile to have a couple of these in the fire army as well. Especially as it also gives them fire resistance, but if it's only melee, it's kind of useless in that regard, because who cares about the melee upgrades for the Blessed Chameleon Kings? Plus, although I take it this takes away the poison, and yes, I'm aware that the poison application is very valuable in that it debuffs a lot of the enemies, and that's part of the use for the Chameleon Skinks, but, you know, not a great matchup for them, I think, just because we didn't have a lot of units that we were going to get a lot of use out of them for. That was the least eloquent way I could have possibly said that, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Once again, no artillery, no real ranged units whatsoever. Like, we had absolutely no enemy range units that we could harass and annoy. No real enemy cav other than the cold ones that we could harass and annoy. Like, a slow unit of Chaos Knights, for example, perfect for a unit of Chameleon Kings to sort of run away forever from, all the while dishing out damage, because with the poison and with the relatively slow movement of that type of unit, they would have never caught them. I think Kroxigors would be the same way, right? I don't think that they could catch a Chameleon Skink unit. Yeah, they can't, especially while poisoned. But unfortunately, we couldn't really accomplish that this time. What I probably could have done is try to kill the units of Feral Cold Ones a little bit faster there, and then move the Chameleon Skinks away. Oh, and looks like Nakai can't actually ambush. There goes that plan. He has 30% movement range. Damn. This always bamboozles me. I should be used to it by now. Being bamboozled, that is. Oh well, let's move you guys here. Let's see if they attack Teheneman anyway. Whether they do or they don't, we will try to attack them next turn. I don't think they could go around our territories, and I really don't think they're going to attack us either way. This army is too broken, but we'll have to find out whether that happens next time, because we are unfortunately out of time for this episode, and I am going to call it here. The war with Itza will continue next time. We'll keep testing Teheneman, although I'm probably once again going to rearrange the army slightly, i.e. take you two out, put another Basti with the Revivification in, and then what do we put in? Another Red Crest? I'd like to keep the Chameleon Stalkers. I am also finding it a little bit more useful to have. I mean, look at the Blessed Chameleon King stats. They're 40-53. I'm still really surprised that they lost to Feral Cold Ones in melee, because they have much better physical stats than the Feral Cold Ones do. It's just that I guess their melee attacks are really slow. The game does have a lot of hidden stats that determine this sort of thing. And, like, because if we were just comparing melee attack, defense, and weapon strength, the Chameleon Skinks should have won relatively easily, especially as these guys have a much lower model number as well. But they're at 38-22 as compared to 40 and 53. Like, their melee defense should have kept them really alive. Plus, they have 30 armor. Well, these guys do have 50 armor, to be fair. It is interesting. And that's with 2 units, and one of them firing at the Feral Cold Ones. Anyway, I'd like to get them more tests as we go, maybe buff them up. Hopefully find Oxyodal to buff them up even further, but we'll have to find out whether that's possible as we move up our hero over here, and hopefully that'll happen, if not next time, the time after that. So that's it as always. I do appreciate any and all. Nah, probably not the time after that, because Oxyodal is so damn far. I wish we could... Oh... Actually, I just realized you're here. You know what? Steel attack from Hagreef. And then for 3 turns, or 2 turns, move here, move to Harganeth, steal next from Harganeth, and then move over here. If Oxyodal is alive, we can find him with you. I completely forgot that you existed. Alright, we gotta use you then, and we will not use the other hero that I just summoned for no reason, looks like. Alright, well that actually works out pretty well, I think. That's you, buddy, sorry. Get out. I am very happy with that. Very happy with that, because then it will probably happen next time, whether we can find Oxyodal. Damn, I should have done this with Grendel earlier. Oh well, so I guess stay tuned for that next time. Blah 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 blah. All glory to the algorithm. Likes and comments are good for more updates. And thanks for watching.